Hey everyone, welcome to Judging for the Win. I'm Dave, and this is my daily ruling. Today's question was suggested by a viewer. Thanks to O Pestilenzo for this one. Amy untaps and then draws for turn. Afterwards, her opponent calls for a judge and points out that he controls the Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, and Amy has not paid one in order to keep her grizzly bears around. What is the appropriate infraction, penalty, and fix? Alright, so first off, this is an interaction that's very important for you to know if you play Legacy, where this card shows up a fair amount. It's also one where the correct answer has changed a few times over Magic's history, and that underscores the judge's responsibility to make sure they keep abreast of all the relevant changes in the rules and policy affecting the formats that they're judging. That being said, let's get to what the answer would be. If we look at the wording on the Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, you'll notice that it uses the word at. That means that this is a triggered ability, and it was missed. So the correct infraction is a missed trigger. But which player is it that should be getting this infraction? Nick is the one who controls the Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, but again, looking at its wording, you can see that it functions by giving the ability to all the creatures that are in play. That's important because the person who controls the creature controls the triggered ability, and the person who controls the triggered ability is the one who has responsibility for remembering it. Because Amy is that player in this situation, Amy is the one who gets a missed trigger. Now that we've identified what the infraction is, we can take a look at the penalty. Ordinarily, if you forget about a triggered ability that's generally considered to be detrimental to you, the penalty would be a warning. However, notice that in this case, Nick is the one who owns the card that's responsible for this triggered ability. There's a rule that says that if that's the case, Amy does not get a warning because Nick is the one who controls the card that made her creature have a triggered ability in the first place. So, with that out of the way, we can get on to the fix, and this is another thing that's changed a fair amount throughout Magic's history. Ordinarily, triggered abilities that are missed have a default remedy, that being the opponent of the person who missed the trigger gets a choice of whether to put that triggered ability on the stack now or just continue the game and let it be missed. Some triggered abilities have special handling, and the IPG gives a different remedy for them. Triggered abilities of the same class of Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale used to be in this category. However, as of the most recent printing of the IPG, they are no longer. And that means that the correct way to fix this situation would be to apply that default remedy that was discussed earlier. Nick gets a choice of whether Amy should have this triggered ability put on the stack now, or have it just stay missed forever. One more thing that I wanted to talk about while I'm on the subject here. Because these cards were often played in the same decks, let's say that Nick controls a token from Dark Depths. And on his turn, Nick untaps and draws and forgets to pay one for that token. What would be the appropriate infraction, penalty, and fix then? Alright, so it's still a triggered ability that was missed, but let's talk about the penalty. So, we mentioned in the last situation that Amy does not get a warning because she does not control and own the permanent responsible for this triggered ability, only controls it. In this case, Nick does control and own the permanents responsible for the triggered ability that he missed. So does that mean he should get a warning? Well, no. The reason is because if there is a triggered ability that you miss, but it wouldn't cause any change in the game state, then it's not an infraction to miss it. Let's take a look at that. Notice that the Merit Lage token from Dark Depths is indestructible. And notice that in the Oracle wording of the Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale, shown above, it uses wacky old school templating to destroy the creatures if you don't pay one, rather than sacrificing, which is probably what it would do if we were going to print a similar card today. Accordingly, it's not an infraction to miss this triggered ability in this case because the creature that would be destroyed is indestructible. Therefore, there would be no change in the game state, even if Nick remembered this trigger. And that's all I have for you today. How did you do? Join me again tomorrow for another daily ruling, but until then, I hope you have a great day.